The, after Fir'aun promised to genocide Musa alayhi salam's people for a second time, remember he said now, he was afraid to openly threaten and confront Musa alayhi salam. So he said, we will kill their children, we will spare the women folk, etc. Then Allah Ta'ala severely tested them. Remember, وَلَقَدْ أَخَذْنَا آلَ فِرْعَوْنَ بِالسِّنِينَ وَنَقْصٍ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَذَّكَّرُونَ فَإِذَا جَاءَتْهُمْ الْحَسَنَةُ. And then they would say, when any pleasant conditions would come, they say, this is because of our own doing. Like we earned this, we deserve this. But when some unpleasant conditions would come, we say, no, Musa alayhi salam, he is like how we say, he's the bad luck one. He brought us here, right? So that's where we stop. Says, "Ala inna mata'ilum inda Allah, walakin aktharum la ya'lamun." No, Musa in Islam, there's no such thing as bad omen. Like, you'll do this, inshallah, in detail in your Mishkat Sharif, Kitab al-Tiyar, like to say that things bring bad luck. Also, it's the same thing. I used to speak about horoscopes and all that type of thing. Kullum min indillah. Everything comes with the permission of Allah Ta'ala. Everything comes with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. According to your amal, Allah Ta'ala sins. So the next verse, he says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقالوا مهما تأتنا به من آية لتسحرنا بها فما نحن لك بمؤمنين. They said, whatever sign you bring to us to enchant us therewith, we are not going to believe in you. In other words, you originally, remember it was Fir'aun's request that you say you are a sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but bring me a sign. Bring me a sign to say you have been sent from Allah Ta'ala. And when Musa alayhi salam brought the sign, then he never accepted. That is why you see that, throughout, if you read the stories of the Prophet and even Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that the people are insisting that they want the sign, they want the sign. But Allah Ta'ala is not in a hurry to send the sign. Why? Because if He sends the sign, and after sending the sign, you do not accept, then your punishment is double. Your punishment is triple. Why? Because after getting a clear sign, you still refuse to accept. So here, Allah Ta'ala gave him a sign, and in fact, Allah Ta'ala gave him two signs. The first sign was when Musa alayhi salam leaped from his throne and he begged Musa alayhi salam to call back the snake. That was the first sign. And the second sign was when Musa alayhi salam's snake, it consumed all the snakes of all the magicians, right? So that is why you'll see that the prophets were not, they never perform just willy-nilly, a multitude and abundant miracles. Two reasons. One is to show that Allah Ta'ala is Allah Ta'ala. And the Nabi, despite him being a Nabi, is also a slave of Allah Ta'ala. His will is also subject to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala will allow miracles to happen when He wants it to happen. So He's still a servant of Allah Ta'ala. Subhanallah asra bi'abdihi layla min al-masjid al-harami, right? That was the one. Anyway, so they said, now look here, whatever sign you bring to us, you want to bewitch us with your magic. They're still not accepting that this is what? This is a miracle from Allah Ta'ala. They still say it's magic. فَمَا نَحْنُ لَكَ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. We won't believe you. So Allah Ta'ala says, فأرسلنا عليهم الطوفان والجراد والقمل والضفادع والدم آيات مفصلات فاستكبروا وكانوا قوما مجرمين. So we sent upon them the storm, floods, right? Then we sent locusts, والجراد, then والقمل, pest, like what they say, ticks. Then والضفا, we send the frogs and blood, signs distinct. Ayatim mufassalat. Fassara means clear signs. Yet they showed arrogance and they were a guilty people. فَاسْتَكْبَرُوا وَكَانُوا قَوْمًا مُجْرِمِينَ. They refused to accept, right? فَاسْتَكْبَرُوا وَكَانُوا قَوْمًا. So the above verses relate the next part of the story of Musa alayhi salam and the people of Pharaoh. According to historical reports, the Prophet Musa stayed in Egypt for 20 years. He kept preaching consistently and conveyed the message of Allah to them. He was given 9 miracles during his stay in Egypt, which served as warning to the peoples of Pharaoh. The Holy Quran is referred to 9 miracles in وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى تِسْعَ آيَاتٍ. So just some background here. So total Musa alayhi salam stayed 20 years in Egypt. And for 20 years, he continued preaching. He continued calling like how to قال رب إني دعوت قومي ليلا ونهارا فلم يزدهم. So what you learn from that, if you are a community leader, if you are an alim in a community, you are the apa or you are the papa of the community, whatever, you have your work is to call. You should not ask these people, they don't listen, man. That's why I give up now. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna keep quiet now and not gonna say anything. You must continue, continue, continue. That is your duty. That is your mandate. Is that you speak, speak. That is whether they listen or not. So Musa alayhi salam, he preached for 20 years. And during this stay and during this period of 20 years of preaching, Allah Ta'ala gave him with 9 miracles to show that he's not an ordinary person, that he is from Allah Ta'ala has been divinely sent. Out of the 9 miracles, 2 were performed before Pharaoh and his people. The third miracle was a famine referred to in verse 130. وَلَقَدْ أَخَذْنَا آلَ فِرْعَوْنَ بِالسِّنِينَ. So the above verses speak of the remaining 6 miracles. The verse 133 mentions 5 punishments coming to the people of Pharaoh. All these punishments have been termed as distinct signs from each other, each one a separate sign from Allah Ta'ala. According to the comments of the respected companion, Abdullah ibn Abbas, each of these punishments lasted for a fixed period of time, followed by a period of relief by the next punishment. So Abdullah ibn Abbas says the punishment would come and then they would get some respite. And after respite, the punishment would come again. But still they did not turn to Allah Ta'ala. Ibn al-Munzir recited from the companion Abdullah ibn Abbas that each punishment lasts for 7 days starting from a Saturday. Subhanallah. And the unique thing is each punishment had a fixed pattern. It would last for 7 days and would start on a Saturday. Then they were given 3 weeks of relief. Imam al-Baghawi citing the companion Abdullah ibn Abbas said that the first time when they were relieved of the famine by asking the Prophet Musa to pray for the relief, they did not give the promise of relieving. Subhanallah. So the first time when they were gripped with the famine, they realized it's from Allah Ta'ala. So when they went to Musa and said, "Oh Musa, pray to your Rabb that he alleviates this difficulty, he takes this difficulty away. We promise now we're going to change, we're going to believe." So they did not keep to their promise. The moment the difficulty was removed and they were relieved, they went back to their ways. The Prophet Musa alayhi salam prayed Allah Ta'ala, to Allah Ta'ala that they may be afflicted with some painful punishment so that it's not a lesson to his people and to the descendants. Allah Ta'ala first sent a storm upon them. According to great commentators, this was a flood. All the lands and houses of the people of Pharaoh were filled and surrounded by the water, leaving them no place for farming and living in their homes. The strange thing about it was that the lands and houses of the Israelites were not affected by the water of the flood. Subhanallah. So the people of Israel, the Israelites, they remain unaffected. It was only the homes of the Coptics, Fir'aun and his people, not to say like the Egyptians. In a state of great distress, they came to the Prophet Musa and requested to pray to Allah Ta'ala for the relief from this calamity. They promised that if they are relieved from the flood, to embrace faith in Allah Ta'ala and let the Israelites go with him from Egypt. So they say, look here, if you pray to Allah Ta'ala, we will release the Bani Israel. Because remember, they kept the Bani Israel slaves by them, right? The prayer of the Prophet Musa was acceded to as the storm subsided. It is reported that the fields were more fertile and productive than before. Subhanallah. So after the rain, the fields were more productive. Again, they did not give the promise and said that the storm was not a punishment from Allah Ta'ala. Rather, it comes to the benefit and the increase in produce was the result of the flood that Musa had nothing to do. So when the flood was there, they went to Musa and requested dua that must be removed. But the moment the flood was gone, they said, no, this is just a coincidence, And see now, our lands are more productive. A period of respite was given to them to reflect and realize the error. After a period of 1 month, another punishment was sent to them in the form of locusts, which ate up all the crops and fruit. These locusts, they come in huge swarms, and as they pass through, any types of crops, they decimate anything which comes. They can consume fields and fields of vegetation, fields and fields of crops in one go because of the huge numbers. So by the time there could be a full field of vegetation or a full field of crops before the first one of them arrive, and by the time the last one leaves, they decimate everything. Couple of years ago, about 2, 3 years ago, there was a problem also somewhere outside being carried up. The farmers were very distressed about these locusts that were consuming everything. And the locusts, right, again, they were surprised to note that the locusts did not do any harm to the houses and fields of the Israelites that were quite close to them. Once again, so when they saw that this locust is not harming them, it's harming them, but it's not harming Musa, then they realized that this is something unique here. This is not ordinary locust. This is been sent from Allah Ta'ala. Once again, they cried for help and implored to the Prophet Musa alayhi salam to pray for his Lord for to take away the punishment from them, and that they made a firm promise to believe in him and free the Israelites after relief. The Prophet Musa prayed again to Allah Ta'ala for the relief, and they got rid of his chastisement. Seeing that they were left with enough grain to suffice them for 1 year, they turned against their promise and showed arrogance before. Once again, a period of peace and relief was followed. The third punishment came to them of Qummal, wal Qummala, right? Referred to as pest. Qummal in Arabic is used for louse, right? A louse is like a small insect that lives on the body of human beings or even animals, etc. And it sucks and it draws the blood. So louse, what is one louse, many lies, isn't it? One louse, many lies. So yeah, a lice is a pest. Also, they refer to as vermin. You know those things which decimate the crop, they harm the crop, etc. So it's possible that both kinds of insects were sent to them. That is a small pest starting to eat up the grain, while equally large number of lice ate up even, subhanallah, or, ate up even the hair and the eyelashes. These were such voracious eaters. They would eat the hair of the people, subhanallah, and eat up the eyelashes of the people, subhanallah. Exasperated as they were, they came again to Prophet Musa salam, and asked him to pray to Allah Ta'ala for their riddles, promising again the acceptance of true faith and release of the Israelites. Musa prayed to Allah Ta'ala for the relief, and Allah relieved him of the punishment. The fourth punishment was of the frogs. Like the frogs were created in such a large number in the houses that they covered him up to the neck, subhanAllah. Certain people's houses, there was so much frogs, they reached out their neck. The frogs covered them in their beds. When they came to sleep, all of the cooking pans and utensils and their households were full of frogs. Being highly disgusted with the situation, they came again to Musa alayhi salam with all their promises and asked him to pray for their deliverance. This time also, they were given relief from the punishment. They were given enough time to correct themselves, and those who incur Allah's wrath are deprived of positive thinking. But they said, when your heart is sealed, then it's finished. It's tickets for you. This time they were in peace. This time they were in peace. They said that they were sure that Musa was a sorcerer and not a messenger of Allah. Those mishaps to them were the effect of his sorcery. So every time, so when they experienced pleasant conditions, what they done? They said, no, Musa is a magician, and he's not a prophet that is sent by a true God. That's what he done. This, the sprung, this lice, this loss of crops, etc., is all the effect of his magic. That is why he can take it away. After a month of relief, the next punishment visiting was that of blood. Everything of this turned into blood, subhanAllah, wa dam, right? Their drinks, their food, the water became all blood before they could use them. As they took out water from the wells of things, it turned into blood, subhanAllah, turned into blood. He says he put it was, so in the Israeli riwayat, it says there, history has reported it was strange whenever the Egyptians and the Israelites sat together for a meal, the morsel of food taken by the Egyptian all became blood, while the one taken by the Israelite did not change. Subhanallah. Miracle, right? This punishment too lasts for 7 days. They were relieved of the punishment through the prayer of the Prophet Musa alayhi salam after the usual false promises. The people of Fir'aun were subjected to the above 5 punishments, one after the other, but they persisted in their arrogance and showed no signs of taking lessons from the warnings. So despite all these signs that Allah Ta'ala said, they continued in their arrogance, they continued in their haughtiness. Okay, so just remember where we stopped there now, right? We still have, so we have to start, وَلَمَّا وَقَعَ عَلَيْهِمُ الرِّجْسُ. That we still have to do the English of the next time. We'll stop there, we'll break now. So we still have to go from, remember, English. ولما وقع عليهم الرجل قالوا يا موسى ادع لنا. After we'll do the Arabic. Sorry, bus.